These are reckless times, Clay. We are all doing impulsive things that we would never do otherwise.
I know.
I don't think you do.
I like it here. So do I.
It's unanimous.
Good. I know what unanimous means, even if I can't pronounce it too good.
It's the Al Travis Show. I'm so happy to have Paulie on today. He's Minnesota Sports Life for Paulie. My kids, of course, just take it as, it's the old man using the life and times were hard back then, walking uphill both ways to school stuff. But this idea that they close schools down today, you and I survived whatever we went through together 100 years ago when we were in school. I don't remember ever having school called off because of cold. Do you recall?
It usually would be snow, and it would be about the snow accumulates and the roads aren't clear, can't get a bus through. That's what would it's the blizzards. It's mostly been that. I don't remember it being about cold, but
let me rehash. The guys at the end of the bench, we talked about it a little bit. Let's start with their bit, and they said, but the problem is with these, and it's true. I mean, it's 8 below here. It's flipping freezing, and that isn't before the wind chill.
I got minus 21 over here.
Yeah. It's inhumane, but let's go back to you. I recall your house out in the middle of nowhere, because remember dirt road to get there.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember your driveway being all that long, but when you had to wait for the bus, were you able to see it coming from a mile away so you could run out? Did you have to hang out in this cold weather that long?
Yeah, my dad built a little shelter at the end of the driveway that protected you from the wind a little bit. Okay. So so then and it had a window so you could watch.
Okay.
For the bus. The window was aimed, the way the bus was typically coming. So you protect a little bit, but several driveways had that. Yeah. But yeah, it was, you had to have the the gear. I mean, that was it. And I do remember, everybody's going into school. You hear that clomp, clomp, clomp down the, because everybody's wearing their big boots, and then piles and piles of clothes and gear, outside the classroom or in front of the classroom. So, and then everything melted, right? All the snow, and then you use this, the dirty melt of everything just sitting on the floor.
You're the oldest in your family, so this is a little different for you than I. But, and we didn't have a lot of money growing up. But do you remember the rubber galoshes with those weird metal clips that tighten them down?
Yep.
The boots, the fancy boots with the linings, all that were just too expensive. I remember years of those were my winter boots, and you put your feet in Wonder Bread bags inside because they always had a hole in them. And I got mine after my brother, the bigger size, came down. So, I mean, they were using those things, never worked. But they were ungodly cold. And I remember put 2-3 layers of socks on. Then you'd get to school and your feet would just sit there and sweat in 3 layers. It wasn't good. I remember the pile of clothes when we got done. That whole thing from A Christmas Story. You remember when she ties her kid up like a tick? That was us. That's a true story.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is. And, they say there's no bad weather, just bad gear, bad clothing. And look at me. I've got a T-shirt. I've got a long sleeve underneath that. I got a sweatshirt over that. I'm wearing my base layer. So, if the car goes off the road, you got to be ready. You never know. So
how are you? Real. My life has changed. This is probably not the coldest it's ever been, but I realize I have no time for cold anymore at my age. I don't even call, you and I'd hang out in high school. It'd be cold. We're still going to go to the movies. Still going to go, let's head to somebody's house. You just did it. Yeah. Now it's like at my age, hey, Al, we got to think, it's going to be kind of chilly that day. I got to look at the temperature and decide if I'm going to go outside.
Yeah, you're soft.
Have you? I am. I know that now. Now, 18 below, whatever, okay, I got to give myself some credit there. But even at like 10, like, hun, do you really want to go? It's kind of cold. I don't like cold at all anymore. I'm done with it.
Yeah, no, I get it. You have to be committed if you're gonna do stuff outside in the community, and being in a band, that's a big deal. We pray for good weather on our gig night because it's very easy to just people who say they want to go and stuff, but it's too cold or too cruddy out. And I get it. You're on the couch and it's comfortable.
Even that, Paulie, for you, if you were playing tonight at Neeson Sports Bar and Lounge, fabulous place. If you're playing there tonight, don't tell me at 2 a.m. when you guys are busting stuff down and you got to take 22 trips back and forth outside. You're not hating it. You're hating it. I mean, hating it. You're like, I don't make enough money for this.
Oh, you think we do this for the money? Come on.
Yeah, well, that's my point. But then when that's nasty, it's like it's not the money. Now why am I doing it?
We've done it. We've torn down, and that's about when you're done. Is you just play till 12:30, and now you're tearing down, and by the time you load up your car, it's 2:00. That's the coldest part of the night, right? So we've done that. We've done it, or rain or whatever. But,
yeah. Not a fan. I don't mind.
It's
being
Minnesota.
wet.
Here we are. We burned the first half of the show talking about the weather. That's what we do. That's what we do. You want to talk about the blizzard of '91? What else do you want to talk about?
Production ripping right here on the show live. Okay.
Well, hey,
let's talk some
I'm just calling it as I see it.
I'm trying to be topical, Paul. Okay.
Well, that's fair.
Let's talk this. Yeah. Let's do this. Brian Flores is going to be our defensive coordinator here in Minnesota for the foreseeable future. He signed a multi-year contract, as I understand it. However, if he gets a head coaching job that he likes, he will take that. I presume you signed that knowing you've kind of looked around and you're like, yeah, no, I'm staying. I think we have Flores. Your thoughts on Flores sticking around?
Yeah, I think we do. I think it's a good sign. I think he's really good at that. I think he's really good at defensive coordinator, and he might still want that opportunity. And he's still a pretty young guy. He's probably got some other opportunities down the road. But I like having him in charge of our defense. I mean,
I do too.
When we got injured, certainly we struggled at times, but he can confuse a lot of quarterbacks, and he's got a lot of respect in the league. So I think it's a good thing.
I'm going to throw this. I want him here. Lock that down. But I honestly think that Bill's job that's open now would be a great spot for him. I don't mean that in a bad way. They're not a team that's falling off a cliff. They're in the playoffs again. They just can't get over the hump. This guy seems to get people pretty dang motivated. I'm just throwing that out that I think he might possibly be a very good fit for them, but I don't want him to take him. So there, I throw that.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, I was disappointed. I wanted the Bills to move on. Bills and Bears, but they're gone. So,
let's talk them. You got the Broncos. They've got a quarterback with less experience than Brosmer going against the Patriots. They actually have Nebraska or New England 4.5-point favorites over the Broncos in Denver. So the people are saying that's you get 3 points for being at home. That's a 7-point swing. They think it's the Broncos the money.
Yeah, I see the Patriots taking care of business here.
Yeah,
they're the Texans defense last week. I was talking about that when it was the Patriot defense that really owned it. Made C.J. Stroud look very, very bad, and so I can't imagine what this other quarterback is going to look like. So I'm also curious about the game though, because do you dial up a bunch of trick plays? Do you try to catch them in what do you do with that? Because
side comment. I'm going to ask it, even though we're not running through all the sports like you want to do. But you bring up the trick play thing. I'm kind of tired of everybody saying, "Oh, he's aggressive. He goes on fourth down all the time." Stop with the fourth down going for it crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good. You agree with me?
No, I agree. And when the numbers are telling that that you really should play the field position game here, then frankly it's about that coach's ego. It's like, this is what I do, and no, you know what? Don't this is why Dan Campbell never got over that hump, and so eventually I think Detroit fans are going to get tired of that, and just they want somebody who just manage the game. Don't.
Well, you see games like the Bills and the Broncos, and they're going for it all over in fourth down. It was a 3-point ball game. If you had managed the field position game a couple of times better, they don't get the extra field goal. You're winning the ball game. I know that's old school thinking, people. I get it, but it is what makes football games fun.
Live to fight another day. Yes, sir.
Seattle, Darnold against the Rams. That's the Sunday night game. They have Seattle 2.5-point favorites, but that's in Seattle, so that's the 3-point. They're calling this a tight ball game. This is going to be a tight one.
Yeah, I think so. Rams have been underrated all year long. That defense is legit too. Seattle's really, really good, but and LA's got the experience. Stafford wants one more crack at this, so this is going to be that's going to be a battle. And I felt all along the NFC West was going to be the Super Bowl entry. Between those two and the 49ers. I thought they were the best three teams. Until the Bears kind of got in there, but. I don't know. I guess I'll pull for Darnold in the Seahawks.
I'm doing it too. It's weird to call the number one the underdog, but I do that with Darnold. We just talked about it again.
Because he's got stuff to prove.
They're saying, he won 14 games with us, 14 games with the Seahawks. Now he won a postseason game, and they're saying, it wasn't really like an outstanding postseason game. He just won it. You know what? What else do you want this cat to do? You know what? I'm rooting for him to go there, and I'm going to say this last hour. He's going to get into the Super Bowl. He's going to win the Super Bowl. He's going to host the trophy up and say, I want to say thanks to all the fans in Minnesota, because he got the $100 million contract because of us. I hope we hear that. That'll hurt, but on the other end, it'll be nice. So,
yeah, that's right.
All right. We got to go to break because Paul spent so much time talking about his childhood. We'll come back. We'll talk about other stuff. It's Minnesota Sports
Under
Life.
the bus we go. Okay.
At LGH Wealth Management, our mission is to create financial empowerment through independent, personalized, and authentic financial planning. That means meeting you where you are and helping you get where you want to go. Whether you're a business owner planning for growth, succession, or a future sale, or a hardworking individual looking to get ahead, reduce stress, and tackle life's financial challenges, we're here to help. From retirement planning and investment management to tax-efficient strategies, estate planning, and risk management, LGH Wealth delivers comprehensive guidance you can trust. Call LGH Wealth Management today at 507-525-7324. That's 507-525-7324. Securities offered through J.W. Cole Financial Incorporated, JWC, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through J.W. Cole Advisors Incorporated, JWCA. Lubeck Geisler Ham Wealth Management Incorporated and JWC JWCA are unaffiliated entities.
Amongst friends, the Al Travis Show. Nothing but talk.
He's my buddy. He's Minnesota Sports Lifer, Paulie. Let's talk some University of Minnesota stuff. It's not good news since last time we chatted. Men's basketball 4-game losing streak. Now they're 9-2 at home, but if I'm putting my check on it, when number 7 undefeated Nebraska comes down tomorrow, I don't see the Ghosts breaking this losing streak. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I probably agree with you on that. You know, the Gophers are still thin. You know, they had a couple of nice wins early on, the Iowa and Indiana games, but yeah, and you know, I don't want to like Nebraska basketball, but I like Fred Hoiberg. I really do, and I always have. And so, you know, it's cool to see him have success. And this is the upside down we're in. Indiana football is good, and Nebraska basketball is good because it's usually been the other way around. but hey, they've put some energy back in the barn. You got to give them that. And
they're 9-2 at home. That's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. And a team that comes in here sleeping is they're in for a problem. And so because the Gophers are going to hustle, they're going to work hard, and Nico's got that going. So that's a scrappy team. I don't know that they win this Nebraska game, but if they can stay healthy, and these guys, they're leaning on like 6 guys total. If they can stay away from injuries, they might surprise somebody in the Big Ten tournament. Just to end the season well, but. They don't have the horses, and they're doing what they can with grit, and that's fun to watch.
They're fun to watch. I give you that. I just think that possibly some of those wins we were getting excited about were because people were sleeping on us. That they're like, hey, don't worry, it's Minnesota. We'll get there. Now people know you can lose to us, and they're putting their best foot forward. The Ohio State loss is what I'm looking at. Number 13 Illinois, they're 10 points. I get it. Wisconsin. I'm just saying I don't know that anybody's sleeping on us anymore, which is a good thing. I mean, I think you lose, but it's good. It's a good thing that
absolutely. Wisconsin, they had a shot at the Wisconsin game that came down to a last minute, second shot. So that you got to like that they beat Iowa and they almost took down Wisconsin. Taking care of your rivalry, rivals in that. I think that's another good sign. So, and that's what's going to endear you to the fans.
Yeah. On the other side of the coin, more things to be disappointed about. Talk about losing streaks. Another team on a 4-game losing streak would be your Minnesota Timberwolves, Paul.
Yeah.
Last week we were talking, they were like 1 game away, and we're playing San Antonio to get into second place. We are 4 games out now with 7th place. It is like dropping like nobody's business. Thoughts on
that's
your
what
Wolves?
happens. You want to lose 4 straight? Yeah, you move from 2nd to 7th. You lose to a Utah team. You lose to a Chicago team, and that one at home. No, they've got some things to figure out. I can't figure out the bench, Al. I mean, it used to be that we had the strongest bench in the league. Now we've got Naz and nobody else.
Yeah,
Naz Reid and nobody else. And you can't go through a whole season that way and expect to win a championship. So, it's the dog days of the season too. And so guys are, I'm sure, banged up and nursing stuff. They better start righting the ship, or they're going to be in play-in and then at risk of getting knocked. So.
Yeah, right now they're in the play-in. You don't want to be there. Naz has got some injury, but they did what I asked them to do. I want the more players in double figures. I think they had 6 or 7 in that game, double figures, but they still found a way to lose, which drives me crazy. I honestly, Paul, I think we got to do whatever we got to do to find someone to come in here point guard-wise. I like Mike Conley. Good God, I like the guy. He scored a total of 3 points, 1 bucket in the last 3 games.
Yeah,
you can't put that much time on the court. We got to have a point guard.
I think they're looking at that. They're looking at. They know they're not getting anything out of that backup spot, and so I think they're looking at making a trade. Problem is, what are you willing to do? Are you going all in this year? You lose your draft picks for the future. If so, because that's what's going to take, right? So
and draft picks are interesting in football. If you can get a quarterback, it can change your team. Other than that, you're building. In baseball, you're not going to hear from these guys for years, but basketball. You get a number one, you get a Victor Wembanyama guy, you get Ant, you can change your team in a heartbeat. So I don't want him to give that up. I would like to shout out. I think Julius Randle should get like the player of the year for us. I know Ant's a better ball player, but Julius Randle has showed me every night he's there. He got 30 last night. He is there every time doing the dirty work.
Yeah.
I'm falling in love with that cat. I like the way he plays ball.
I agree.
Okay.
And he's got some meanness to him. He's a big bad load down low. He has that there. He's I love that chemistry between him and Dante, when they were playing together, and they know how to work off each other. And I agree. Julius Randle is Ant may be the Flash, but the straw that stirs this drink is Julius Randle.
Nice cocktail reference. I like that a lot. I'm going to use that. I'm going to steal it now.
I stole it, so you can steal it from me. I stole it from somebody else.
It'll just become a legend at some point.
Reggie Jackson back in the day.
Okay.
The straw that stirs the drink when the Yankees were always fighting.
Cultural reference. Okay. Real quick in the Wild with our last 90 seconds, Paul. Wild are sitting in second place. That's great. They won last night. What are you thinking about your Minnesota Wild?
They had a really tough injury stretch there, and their entire second line got knocked out with injuries, and so they lost a few games there. That got tricky, but Eriksson Ek came back last night, and Kirill wins it in overtime, and this is the team. And Guerin might also make one more move on this, to I think he realizes he's pretty close. So he might go out and get one more player. Again, what do you give up for that? But I like the Wild. I watch them every single time. I'm much more into them than the Wolves right now, and it's great entertainment. So
see, but it's also it's your underdog thing. It's the same thing with the Gophers. You'll accept the loss if it's gritty. The Wild, like you say, went through a terrible, tough time, but they were gritty and they pulled it out. And now we're up to second place. You like that. The Wolves, on the other hand, we're about as healthy as we've been all year. I mean, maybe, and yet I see lack of effort. I think you're with me on this. You'll watch a team as long as you're putting the effort on the court, the field.
The
rink.
And I think now the Wolves game against San Antonio a week ago or so was outstanding. It was Wemby versus Ant the entire way at the end. I think the Spurs ended up winning it, but it was great entertainment. We don't see that every game on any NBA team. We don't. So that's why the product, I like the NHL way better than the NBA.
I slap you back here with that just on that Spurs game. We used to give up games where we just didn't show up, but we give up quarters now. And in that game, they let San Antonio have, 48 points, and then it was this whole pushback, which is exciting. I get it. But if you don't give them 48 points in a quarter, you're winning this hands down. That game bothered me in a lot of ways. You can give up 48 points.
The early part, But it was...
But the comeback was
Don't put yourself in a position where you got to come back. I agree.
Thank you, Paul. Hey, I got to fly, my friend. Appreciate you being here. Keep your galoshes, is what we called them, and your Wonder Bread tight. That's what I'm asking you today. Keep them tight.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
It's Paul, Minnesota Sports Lifer.